I really gotta stop doing these streams at this late at night. But at the same time, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? I am the C R to the P. It's too late. We'll do a video check. It's late at night. But at the same time, what do you want from me? I love it. It's beautiful, and I'm not going to waste any time because it's already 4 a.m. and I got other shit I need to do. So time is of the evanescence. I say meow and I roll intros. We're live in the 5, the 4, the 3, 2, and the 1. Hello everybody and welcome to week 12 of the 2025 NFL season and my prediction picks. I'm your host, the one, the only, the blind Canadian cat. Not Canadian, not actually a cat, but you can call me the cat. Because that's how we do it. And fun weekend of football. One of the few weeks that I didn't really get to watch much of anything. Because as you know, the game in Cleveland, I got to attend. So this makes it 3 of the 4 years I got to attend. And for anyone keeping track, let me do the math for you. In the 4 games I've now attended, home teams are 2-2. So I'm pretty even split. But if you want to be a gambling superstition, the under is 4-0 when I'm in attendance. So before anyone gripes, because I know for some people it was 38.5. When I got it, it was 39. Hopefully that looks kind of clear. When I got it, it was 39. I should have bet it myself, but I'm dumb. Whatever. I figured Baltimore would want to get on track. But that's a 39. So keeping track, since it was 39.5, game ends at 39. That is an under. And that is 4-0 on unders when I am present in the stadium. 3 Ravens and Browns games. And then back in 2017, many people don't remember at this point, but for an 18th birthday present, my dad took me to Philadelphia at Seattle, where Philadelphia ended up winning that, or where Seattle ended up beating the eventual Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles 24-10, I believe that was. But I will give this Ravens-Brown game credit. It's the first game. It's the highest scoring game getting to 39. So what are the odds of that? 4 games I've attended and on all 4 games, don't even get to 40. Funny how that works, ain't it? And it's really interesting too, because if you remember last year, because we couldn't go to that game for shit, things happened. But that Ravens-Brown game, that thing hit like 50-something, I think. It was like 29-24 for Cleveland. So funny how when we're not there, granted, you could thank James Winston for that, it was a high-scoring game. But the 3 games we do attend, 13-3, 28-3, and now 23-16. Funny how that works. But anywho, let's break down the week elsewhere, where, again, I can't really go off of what I saw. I can only go off of vibes, box scores, and highlights. And my handy little chart here, which today will be in blue, because another pen has fallen to the dark side of the moon. Last week, 8-7 straight up. Middling week again, and especially looking at the rest of the gang when they're doing their picks. I think they had 11-4s, 10-5s, or something like that. And I finished 8-7, so not my best week compared to the rest of the squad. I just lost my words. 5-9-1 against the spread. I had my first spread push because I didn't realize I had Green Bay at 7 even. I mean, I took New York plus the 7, but either way, it was 7 even. So first push, and then 8-7 on the totals, bringing me now 11 weeks into the season, 101-62-1 straight up, 77-86-1 against the spread, and 80-40 on the totals. We've been on a downpour. It's not looking great. I would hedge your bets against me on spreads and totals, but straight up, well, it is what it is. But with another 14 games of the docket, and I believe for whatever reason NFL likes to give Thanksgiving for everyone working, so there'll be no buys next week. But this week, still the same 4 buys and 14 games. So let's get to it. Starting off with the Thursday night game, Buffalo is in Houston taking on the Texans. Buffalo is currently 5.5 point favorites, and the spread's at 43.5. They did rule CJ Stroud out for this game because concussion's still there, so it's Davis Mills' game is exciting. And I can tell just looking at the score, division games are division games, and I'm not going to put too much into it. But crazy how it was only a 16-13 game. What was going on with the offense? I mean, I know you needed a fourth quarter miracle essentially to pull yourself away from Jacksonville, but where were these points against Tennessee? Where were they? And Buffalo, if you know the one thing they're gonna do, we're gonna run up the score one way or another to make it look like we're a dominant team. When we get our asses beat, it's gonna get beat pretty bad. But when we're winning, we're going to make it look like we're winning a lot better than we usually are. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a hater at this point. But it is what it is. Houston, again, good defense. We respect their defense. If their offense was more consistent, they'd probably be winning more games. If CJ were healthy and had an O-line, they'd probably win more games. I've been talking about this in the group chats. We're getting to the point where we're breaking down who's a lock to be in the playoffs, who's right there in the bubble, and then long shot teams, and then people were not taking seriously. For me, as I've said, I think the top 4 are pretty much lock: New England, Denver, Indy, and Buffalo. I think those 4 are a lock. I think the AFC North, whoever wins that, will be the 4th seed, and the loser will miss the playoffs between Pittsburgh and Baltimore. One of them will figure out. And then you have the final 3 spots, which I think will be between Kansas City, Los Angeles, and Jacksonville. Houston is that one team where they have a shot in the dark to maybe get it. But I'm not betting on it. I don't think, based on their schedule, they can do enough, and based on especially with these injuries, CJ being out. So they have a shot in the dark, but I'm not betting on it. So again, I say those 2 of the last 3 spots are going to be between Kansas City, LA, and Jacksonville. And something to keep an eye on, Jacksonville has that tiebreaker against both now. Keep an eye out for that. But that being said, I mean, even if CJ were here, I don't know how much faith I would have in Houston. So just to make a simple thing simple, I'm going to take Buffalo to win this game. Buffalo goes on the road into Houston on a short week and beats the Texans. Again, on that line, they are 5.5. It's a little high, and again, I do like Houston's defense, but I think Buffalo is a tier or 2 above them, especially with CJ not going to be there. It's not Cam Ward. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, Buffalo win, Buffalo cover. On the line's 43.5. It depends on how greedy Buffalo really is. Because Buffalo does kind of like the scoreboard run. I'm just saying. They do. Again, I can't call it out for the game last week because, again, I didn't watch it, so I don't know. But I'm just saying. They have a history of it. They do. So, 43.5 is very possible to get. How much faith do I have in Houston? I'm going to do it. I'm going to give them the over. I think, especially for Buffalo to cover this spread, I think they'll need to do more than extra. And then, yeah, you have the Davis Mills. What are we going to get from him? Who knows? There's definitely enough film now at this point to remember his tendencies and blah, 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 if for whatever reason they were gotten in the past. So, yeah, I'll take the over in that game. Buffalo wins. Buffalo covers 5.5. Give me the over. 30-16. We'll go with that. Next game we have here, we have Indy in Kansas City taking on the Chiefs. The Chiefs, for whatever reason, are 3.5-point favorites at home, with a total all the way up to 49.5. Now, Kansas City. They're not winning a lot. They're losing these close games. So it makes me wonder what they're missing. And again, I can't speak on this last week game. I didn't get to watch it. So I don't know. I know that Denver had a game-winning drive, kicked the field goal as time expired. I know that much. It was a back-and-forth game, could have gone either way. Enough favors just went in Denver's way. Indy on the bye, and the last couple of weeks they've played, it's been not looking great. You lose the Pittsburgh game, you need overtime to beat Atlanta. It's not looking great for Indy. But on the other hand, it's how much of this Kansas City team do we legitimately believe in? We want to believe in Mahomes, obviously. We want to believe in Andy Reid, obviously. But at what point does it become, damn, we are not a good team? And their losses, I'm trying to track all their losses. LA, good team. Jacksonville, maybe a good team. We're still uncertain about that. Denver, good team. Buffalo, good team. So they are losing to good teams. And Indy, we want to believe, is a good team. Their offensive starts rival those of the great offenses of all time. So we want to believe them. But it's one of... Could I buy myself into believing Kansas City's going to have a losing record at some point? I mean, I think they already had a losing record this season, but I don't know what to do with this Kansas City team. I don't. And if it's close scoring game, they seem to have worked against Kansas City. I can't do it. I can't. By hell or high water, there's got to be something that works in Kansas City's favor. I'm going to pick the Chiefs to win. I don't like it. I'm uneasy about it for sure, but there's got to be something. And again, Indy's been looking shaky. It's Jonathan Taylor in a dream right now because Daniel Jones has been inconsistent. I can't get a bet against Kansas City. It's too hard. I'm not touching this game as far as my parlays go, but I can't bet against Kansas City. And I know I said Kansas City doesn't win close-scoring games, but for the sake of respecting Indianapolis too much, I see that hook, I'm going to take the hook and run with it. I will give Indy plus 3.5. Because I do respect them. I do think they're a good team, and I think they have plenty of opportunity to make noise in these playoffs. Jonathan Taylor is that guy. The defense is plenty respectable. The receivers, tight end, it's a good team. Can Daniel Jones get over whatever these yips have been these last couple of weeks? I respect him too much. I will give him plus 3.5, but in my heart, I just can't find myself to bet against Kansas City. I just can't. They keep biting me. But I'm gonna take it. Total of the game at 49.5. I'm gonna say that's too high. I think that's a bit high. Kansas City's offense hasn't been too exciting as of late, and Indy has all these turnover problems. And if they're the defensive coordinator, I'm gonna trust to limit Indy. Again, they're not gonna stop them, obviously, but limit them. Spags is up there as one of those DCs. So I'll give them that. Chiefs win, Colts cover, under 49.5. Give me like a 24-21 game. 26-23, something like that. Next game we have the Patriots in Cincinnati. Taking on the Bengals. New England's favored by 7, total all the way up to 50.5. Now this game, I see this spread, and I'm thinking to myself, remember a year ago when Cincy lost this game in week 1? Because week 1 Bengals always flop on their face. And then they lose to New England, who only went on to win like 4 games at that season. Look at New England now. New England looks like a real team, and Cincy, even if Burrow were healthy, we really wouldn't be carrying that much. Because this defense is bad, his O-line's inconsistent, and now Jamar Chase did not learn from week 1 of the season about spitting. Don't spit. It doesn't. You don't look cool. It's not a power move, and now you're suspended. Honestly, just if you're mad at a guy, punch a guy. Punch a guy, flip him off, do something. Spitting, you just look like a bitch. I'm calling it what it is. I'm calling it what it is. And I know my ass, yes, I'm not going to say this to his face. Obviously, I'm not going to threaten or try to stunt on an NFL athlete. I'm not going to do it. But spitting is bitch made. It is what it is. Don't spit at someone. You're not cool. Whatever. Jamar Chase got suspended for this game. He can't play. And yeah. So we have Gonzalez probably going to be covering T. Higgins for most of the game. Yoshivas, hopefully you can make some plays. New England's got a good defense, so best of luck to you guys. Even in Cincinnati, I'm not taking the chances. Give me New England to win this game. And especially with the fact that I don't have Jamar Chase, I'm going to take the -7. It's a high number, but I like this New England team. I think, of the 3, New England, Denver, and Indy. I like New England the most of these 3. And I think, even as young as they are, I think this team could make a legitimate run for a Super Bowl. Which, yeah, that's what we need, another Patriots Super Bowl. Yes, yeah, I know. But, of the 3, I think they're the most likely. I think with their schedule, they have plenty of opportunity to take the 1 seed. I think they got Buffalo and Baltimore back-to-back. And outside of that, it's handle your business, you should be fine. But yeah, Cincinnati, it's with no Jamar, good luck. Good luck. Total of the game is 15.5. New England doesn't really put up a lot of points. Even against the Jets, they only put up like 27. Against Tampa, it was only like 28, and that was only because, the guy ran instead of sliding and kneeling down. Which I'm not going to say I'm for or against sliding to ice a game rather than get your touchdown. So that's not my business. But considering Cincinnati only put up 12 against Pittsburgh last week, I'm not expecting them to put up much against New England either. So give me the under in this game. 15.5, a little too high. Patriots to win, they cover 7. It's going to stay under 15.5. Give me like 30-13. Easy enough. Next game we have Pittsburgh is in Chicago taking on the Bears. Bears as a home team are 2.5-point favorites with a total of 44.5. Now, as I redo this live stream recording 4 a.m. on a Thursday, I have not heard the news on whether or not they're going to roll out Rodgers or not for this game. I know he messed up his wrist. They're saying, I don't know what the full diagnosis was. I think there was something broken or something chipped. I don't know exactly. But he also made it sound like, it's fine, I could probably possibly maybe play. So it's out there, it's floating, it's a maybe. So with that, I don't know on that end. Chicago, 7-3. How did that happen? Listen, I was on the train Chicago, year 1, we don't worry too much. Year 2, you got Ben Johnson. Figure things out, get to 8 or 9 win season. I think you're good. Which, let's be real. Chicago end of season schedule is pretty brutal too. 2 games against Green Bay, which Green Bay's been inconsistent, but it is what it is. Another game against Detroit. I'm trying to remember who else they have on there. I don't remember. But again, Pittsburgh. So this is one of those games where it's like it's 2 good teams. But are they really teams we believe in, respect, care for, think can make any noise if they do make the playoffs? I don't know. It's tricky for certain. And again, I don't know what the story is going on with Pittsburgh. I don't know who's healthy, who's injured, who's going to play. I know Jalen Warren left the game with an injury too. I don't know what his status is. Well, this game could really go either way. But I don't know what I'm getting out of Chicago's offense. Every time I try to think I understand it or believe in it, it kind of just disappears on me. So I don't know much. It's tricky. It's really tricky. But if I had to go with my gut at this point, even if he's not 100%, I do think Pittsburgh is the better team. So I'm going to hold my nose while I do this. Give me Pittsburgh to go into Chicago and win this game. Even if it's Mason Rudolph, it's not the offense doesn't really need to do much. I think the defense that they spent a lot of money on, so they better figure it out. I think they could hold down Chicago enough that a low-scoring game could very well be in the books for them. So give me Pittsburgh. Obviously, I'm going to take their plus 2.5 with it. I think they're the better team, so even if Rodgers doesn't play, I still think Pittsburgh's the better team. Total's at 44.5. Like I said, for Pittsburgh to win this game, it's probably going to be low scoring. So I'm going to take the under on that one. I do think it stays low scoring. Even if Rodgers is fully healthy, I don't think we're going to get a lot of points. Especially since Chicago seems to be really good at turnovers. They got 3 players who are all tied for up the top for interceptions. So clearly they got a bunch of good defensive pieces. It's just, can Caleb keep developing? Can that run game exist? And who are the receivers? That's all it comes down to, really. So yeah, give me Pittsburgh to win, covered plus 2.5, under 44.5. This could very well be like a 16-13 game. 17-14, 20-10, shit like that. It probably goes low 30s at most. I don't think they'll score that many points. Next game on the list, we have the Jets in Baltimore taking on the Ravens. Ravens are a whopping 13.5 point favorites, and this is a trend that will be 3 straight games of double-digit favorites. Starting with this one, and the total's at 44.5. Baltimore in back-to-back weeks. That offense has looked mighty inconsistent. Mighty inconsistent. And again, I will give benefit of the doubt. Cleveland has a great defense. If we can ignore their offense, ignore their record, they have a really great defense. And again, I got to watch it live. I got to watch Myles Garrett get 4 sacks live, in person, and somehow not win Defensive Player of the Week. But not my business. I watched it happen. So I know. I'm aware of their defense. I know their defense. I know. I mean, no one's going to want to hear this from me, but both of Lamar Jackson's interceptions were not his fault. I'll stand my ground on that. Neither were his fault. They weren't. So I don't want to hear it. No one's going to believe me. No one's going to care, but it is what it is. Cleveland's defense is very real. That said, here with the Jets, they're not real. That's the defense that no one kind of cares about. And because Justin Fields proves to be kind of inept yet again, I think this is now 3 of the last 4 weeks where he hasn't even hit 100 yards passing. It's one of those, what are we doing? What's going on? So, I don't remember if it's just a benching or if he got injured. I don't know. But either way, Jets are going with Tyrod Taylor this week, who, of course, I'm going to do this for the sake of doing it. Tyrod was drafted to the Ravens. He was their backup for a few years. He was on that 2012 Super Bowl team. So yes, Tyrod Taylor's been around, guys. He was on that 2012 Ravens team as the backup to Flacco. So it's probably a good homecoming. This is also the first time Tyrod's played a game in Baltimore since 2016 when he was in Buffalo. So hey, AFC East coming to Baltimore again. Gotta love it. Gotta love to see it. I think the Ravens are aware of their offensive woes. I think the Jets are a perfect place to face it. Honestly, the Jets are also a good time to, maybe experiment with your offensive line, because your guards are ass. Baltimore, your guards are ass. Please put someone else in. There is no way they could be possibly worse than what's already in the lineup. I don't want to shit on professional athletes, but I am very convinced at this point that my buddies Chris Carter and Justin would be better offensive guards for the Ravens than Daniel Falele and Andrew Voorhees. I am so dead ass. They're Carter and Chris and Justin are both bigger individuals. I don't know their attributes off the top of my head, but they're both plenty tall, plenty strong, plenty big, and plenty durable. And I'm willing to bet they would work. They would work for less money than the million or two that you're paying per year on these linemen. I don't care. I don't care. Please get Falele and Voorhees off this offensive line. There's got to be someone else. You drafted Ben Cleveland. Apparently, he's still got no reps. He can't be that bad that you're still keeping him on the roster after drafting him all those years ago. Or whoever the hell else is there. I don't know. But they can't be that worse. Trust me. I'm not going to use PFF grades or anything of that because it's all subjective. But they're bad. They're really bad. Please, at least experiment. Give them the week. Give them the week against the Jets. If Cleveland and the rest of them can't figure it out, fine, we'll go back to them. But you can't tell me you're not going to try. You can't tell me you're doing nothing. Please, just try something different. They're bad. Falele is so bad that we don't talk about how bad Voorhees is. And he's equally as bad. But we don't talk about it because Falele is comically bad. It's bad. It's awful. They don't fit the system. They don't fit the scheme. I don't know what it is. They're getting their asses beat every time, and Lamar looks worse. Because he can't... You have Lamar in, 2021 mode, where he's playing hero ball half the time, and thus being a little chaotic. And he's been hurt. He's been hurt. You have him hurt this season already, and now he's dealing with more injuries. He's got the hamstring. He's got the knee, and I think he's dealing with an ankle now or something. This O-line is ass. Please fix something. Please change something. Anything. Anything. Whatever. I'm over it. Baltimore should win this game. Baltimore needs every win to matter. Pittsburgh has to keep winning games, so Baltimore needs to keep going and keep up. They have no time to fuck around with the Jets. Handle your business. Don't think too much about it. Again, the spread is at 13.5. I want to check something off the top of my head real quick. Do we have a double? We had one, and New England covered it. I don't think anyone else had a double-digit spread on them. Yes, New England covered it. I don't really know what's going on much with these double-digit spread rules because I already forgot it. But they covered last week. So I have no reason to believe that they aren't going to cover this week. Not that I have any aspirations for Baltimore to be a Super Bowl team at this point, but for the sake of proving themselves and needing this win and blah, 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 I'm giving them to cover the 13.5. Again, Tyrod, one of my favorites. I love rooting for him. Him and Shedeur in Buffalo was fun. He's a former Raven, so we've always had a special place in my heart. There is no reason he should be keeping this competitive. There's none. Jets don't have any defensive pieces. They traded away all their best defensive pieces. They got no defense. Offense is inconsistent. I don't. They should not be able to keep this close. Baltimore, get your shit together. This should be very well a 27-3, 30-10 game. Absolutely. But with that, and accepting Baltimore's inconsistencies on offense, I am going to say under the 44.5. Now, could Baltimore easily get to 44 by themselves? Absolutely. But the offense is inconsistent. I don't trust it, so I'm going to say under it. Ravens win. Ravens cover 13.5. Under 44.5. Again, like I said, 30-10. That should be the bar. Or 27-3. That should be the bar for this team. You're at home after a 3-game road trip where you won all 3 road games. You can handle this here. And don't overlook the Thursday. I know there's rumors around that Burrow's trying to return. His ass should not be returning because he's not going to win any games. Or win any meaningful games, so who cares? Heal up. Get ready for next season. Don't look ahead. Don't look ahead to Thanksgiving. Don't worry about it. Just focus on your shit right here, right now. That's going to take up most of the recording and shit. Next game, we have Seattle and Tennessee taking on the Titans. Seahawks have the road team are 13.5 point favorites, as well as 40.5. Tennessee's ass, mega ass, super ass, ultra ass. And I'm not going to talk about Sam Donald's 4 picks. Again, I didn't see any of the plays, so I don't know if they were, this is a bad row, someone didn't catch it, someone didn't run the right route. I don't know what the context was, but there's always context to interceptions. So, I don't know what they are. I didn't do the research. I didn't watch the plays. Again, I'm kind of in the dark for most other things that happened during Week 11. But that said, Tennessee is bad, and I don't care what happens with Sam Darnold. I'm taking Sam to win this game. There's no reason Tennessee should be relatively close. 13.5 is a high spread, even on the road, against this. With the Seahawks team, but I really like their defense, and the offense can do enough with JSN, Kenneth Walker, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care for Tennessee's defense. So again, I will lay 13.5. I will trust that. Again, this is another game where it's like Seattle, I really like their defense. So this should be easily a 27-3 game. 24-0 maybe. 30-10. I think that's very possible. But then with Tennessee, I notice some people like to run up. I think you can run up the score on Tennessee often. So for that reason, I see the 40. It's risky, especially with Tennessee. But I'm going to take the over in this one. I just think there's enough you can do with it. There's enough to... I think Seattle can get there. And again, it's Seattle takes off early, leads for most. Tennessee gets garbage points. That's how I see it. So yeah, Seattle to win. Seattle covers 13.5, over 40.5. I know I said 30-10, but for the sake of this, let's go 33-10. Or 35-7. Let's go with that. Next game on my list, we have the Giants in Detroit taking on the Lions. Lions are 10.5 point favorites, the third straight double-digit spread, and the total's at 49.5. Now, this is the only one where I'm hesitant. Because I see you, Jameis Winston. I see you push that spread and end it with a 7 against Green Bay. I see you. Now, at this point, Detroit's probably better than Green Bay, so holding my breath on that. But, can you do it again? I don't know how much I could really comment on Detroit's defense when Philly's offense, for better or for worse, hasn't looked great all year. They can score points, we're not saying they can't, but it's inconsistent. The play calling is confusing. And again, how is Philly only scoring 13 points on Sunday night? I don't know. But then again, it's... I don't fucking know what it is. It's tricky. It's confusing. So this is the only one where I'm hesitant. I mean, I'm taking Detroit to win. This is not a talking point. I am going to take Detroit to win. Especially with the way they looked against Philadelphia. They're going to want to be better. Now, New York, again, like we say, their front four, dangerous. So can Detroit's O-line, who has been inconsistent admittedly this year, can they do their job? Well, yeah, Penei Sewell's great. We love him. Best right tackle in football. The rest of the guys, actually, I'm not even gonna try to say shit. I don't even remember the rest of the guys or how they are statistically. I know Penei Sewell's great. Outside of that, I'm kind of forgetting. Again, it's 4:30 in the morning. My brain's not fully functioning, but that's the only time I can really do these things. So bear with me. 10.5 is high. You know, if Jameis had Malik, maybe, but he doesn't. Fine. I'm laying the 10.5, but it's my least confident one of the three. I'm gonna lay it because after last week, I imagine Detroit wants to get back on track. And hey, they did this with DC. Oh, we had a bad game and we need a get right game. Oh, here's a beat up team that's got a lot of injuries. 44 points. Boom. We dropped a dud against Philadelphia and only scored, 6 points? Oh, here comes the New York team that we can just hammer in on. That's how I see it. Total of the game is 49.5. It's so high. But I'm going to take the over. I think Detroit wants to get right game. Going to score a lot of points. And again, who's to say Detroit's defense can hold back Jameis a bit? I think Jameis can get some points. I think he can make it interesting. But ultimately, yeah, I'm going to give it to Lions. So, Lions win. Lions cover 10.5. We're going to shoot over that 49.5. Give me like a 37-20 game. Jameis still scores points, but the Lions, they just pound and pound away. Run up the scoreboard. Next game on my list, we have the Vikings in Green Bay taking on the Packers. Packers are 6.5 point favorites. The total left 41.5. Minnesota, what is going on? Why does J.J. McCarthy not look good? All these quarterbacks that you're trying to make look good, J.J. McCarthy somehow can't figure it out. What's going on? Who knows for certain? It just doesn't seem to work. It's 1 year. Technically his rookie season still, so again, I don't want to hold much. I think it's only like his 5th or 6th career start too up to this point. So again, still too young to say anything, really. But I know Green Bay. I trust this team. And I feel like once they get their shit figured out, because injury scares in New York, so I think Jacobs is out for a bit, but Jordan should be fine. The receiver should be fine. Everyone should be fine. And with that, I do think Green Bay is a better team through and through. Minnesota's inconsistent, so give me the Packers to win this game. On the line, it is 6.5. A little high. Green Bay makes me uneasy because they don't seem to cover large spreads that well. But what is Minnesota going to give me? I don't know. I don't like it. I'm going to take Green Bay to cover the 6.5. It's not my favorite bet. It makes me uneasy. But I'm going to do it. And I'm taking a lot of favorites with a lot of high spreads this week. Is what it is. Welcome to predictions. Total give it 41.5. I think with Josh Jacobs being down, the run game should still be fine, but I don't think it'll be consistent. Minnesota does have a better than average defense, so I think they have opportunities to make plays. It's a division game. It's in Green Bay, and at this point, the weather's going to start getting colder now. So I can imagine a lot more running in this game and a lot more clock draining, not a lot of offense. I'm going to grab the under in this one, under 41.5. It's not a confident one, like I said. I'm probably not touching this game at all for my parlays, but that's just kind of the vibe I'm getting. Green Bay wins. Green Bay covers 6.5. Give me the under 41.5. Give me like 23-13. I think Green Bay does enough because they're a better offense than Chicago, but Minnesota makes a little bit of noise here and there. 23-13. Next game we have the Browns in Vegas taking on the Raiders. Raiders are 3.5 point favorites, and the total is so low, 36.5 points. This will be the first official career start for Shedeur Sanders. Dylan Gabriel's in concussion protocol, and even if he wasn't, I'm pretty sure the Browns are kind of done with him. So it's like, fuck it, we need to go check out Shedeur, see how he looks for these last couple of weeks, and if he ain't the answer either, then we're going to be the Browns to draft another quarterback, because drafting quarterbacks always works well instead of drafting positional needs everywhere else. The Cleveland Browns, everybody. But yeah, Shedeur's first start. Raiders look god-awful. They're just bad, to the point where they can't even move the ball that well against the Dallas defense, who has been bad for the majority of season 2. And all this to say, I'm going to look like a really big moron. And for this one reason alone. Cleveland Browns starting quarterbacks, especially rookies, never win their first career start. They just don't. So with that superstition alone, and again, I'm not going to hold too much against Shedeur because apparently he never got first team reps, so he wasn't expected to play, and he can only do so much. But even then, come on. You had some reps. You can figure something out. It is what it is. I'm taking the Raiders to win. Probably an ugly game because, again, I like Cleveland's defense a lot. I think they're one of the best. I trust Garrett. I trust Schlesinger. I trust Ward. I trust these guys. Delpin and the crew. I trust them. But I don't trust Vegas at all to do much of anything, so I'm scared for what this game could look like. So I'm going to take Cleveland plus that 3.5. For the hook, I will buy it. And I mean, hey, if Shedeur wins this game, then all the order points for him are going to be up the roof. And his fan base is going to love it. Not necessarily Cleveland's fan base, but his fan base is going to love it. So give me plus 3.5. Total in the game is 36.5. I mean, they scored 16 with Dylan. I mean, Shedeur could do something like that, right? Raiders don't have much of a defense. Cleveland does. That's so fucking low. Jesus. So low. That's really freaking low. God, can I take that? Let's see, what am I thinking here? Vegas is going to win. They're going to need to be able to run the game, especially they got no receivers worth a damn. Geno Smith just looks like ass all year. Yeah, I'm going to take the under. I don't like it. I hate it a lot. Taking an under with a 36 is insane. But I'm going to go with it because I like Cleveland's defense. I don't trust Vegas' offense. And even if Shedeur gets a bunch of first-team reps this week, I don't know what I'm going to get from him. Now, hopefully he's smart like Dylan and targets Harold Fannin and David Njoku. A couple deep balls to Jerry Jeudy because Vegas is not going to have any high-quality DBs. I have to figure something out, but probably not. But, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Vegas to win. Cleveland covers plus 3.5. In a game that stays under 36.5. Give me 16 to 13 Raiders. I guess. It's not going to be pretty, but it is what it is. Next game on the list, we have Jacksonville heading to Arizona to take on the Cards. Jags are 2.5 point favorite at the road, and the total is at 47.5. Probably one of the most quietest things. I mean, not quiet if you're on social media, but one of the quietest things that happened during this week. While again, I was in the stadium watching the Ravens-Browns game. Jacoby Brissett set an NFL record for completions. 47 completions. He went 47 to 57. 47 completions is the most by a quarterback in a single game ever. Again, I didn't get to watch highlights. I didn't get to watch any of it, so I don't know what the context of that is. He finished with, I think, like 450 yards, so clearly he's not throwing the ball 10 yards per play. But I do see a Michael Wilson with 10 for 185. I do see Trey McBride with like 9 for 115. I do see these things. So I see them making plays. And then you got Jacksonville where it's like, alright, where the fuck did that come from? I know the Chargers have no line, but damn, where did that come from? I don't know, it's weird, but either way, if I'm the Jags, I'm looking at this playoff bracket seeding. Chiefs and Chargers, my only legitimate competition, and probably Houston, but I got tiebreakers with all of them. I have Arizona and Tennessee on my schedule still. I have 2 games against Indy, one of which is in Jacksonville, a game Indy has never won in Jacksonville in probably like 10-15 years, I think. I can't afford to mess this up, because if I just win the games in front of me, I'll have a guaranteed playoff spot. Because Kansas City and LA have harder schedules than Jacksonville does at this point. So if Jacksonville is as serious, middling serious, as we want to believe they are, Don't mess around. Win these games. And going into Arizona, yeah, 47 to 57 for 400 yards, and you're only scoring 22 points. That says a lot. That says a lot. So with it, I'm gonna take Jacksonville to win this game. I think if they're any serious to being a playoff contender and being someone in the playoffs to make noise, you don't fuck around with this game. Win this game, move on to the next. So give me Jacksonville to go into Arizona, win that game. On the line, it's 2.5. It's under 3. You pay that price. That's just how you do it. It's gambling. And until the 47.5. I'm going to lean more on Jacksonville's defense, having a defense. And Jacksonville, they're not, I don't fucking know what to do with Jacksonville, because I don't know what to do with that offense. Half the time they're consistent, half the time they're not. So I don't know what to do with Jacksonville's defense, or their offense, excuse me. 47.5, ooh. There's one thing Jacoby does like to do, it's backdoor cover shit. I don't like it. Yeah, why not? Because of Jacoby said, he likes to keep going. He'll score some points. I'm going to say he backdoor covers the over sometime late in the fourth. The game will be kind of out of reach because I think Jacksonville is a few tiers better than Arizona. But Arizona's scrappy, put some drives together in the fourth when, Jacksonville's playing prevent. So give me the Jags to win, Jags to cover 2.5, and give me over 47.5. Give me a final score of 30 to 20. I think that's fair. And I think it works again. Arizona will score some points, but I think Jacksonville takes control for the most part. It could be very well like a 17 to 3 halftime. But yeah. 30 to 20 final score. Jags win. Jags cover 2.5. Over 47.5. 4 more games to go. And I am exhausted already. Curse you, 4 a.m. streams. Curse you. We'll bring a breeze through this one. Next game we have the Falcons are in New Orleans. Wow, I butchered that bad. Falcons are in New Orleans taking on the Saints. Saints as a home team are a 1.5 favorite, and the total's at 39.5. This is an Atlanta team that's not going to have Michael Penix Jr. for the rest of the year. This is a Falcons team that's not going to have Drake London for this game. This is kind of a shit, and more shit. But New Orleans is also just a bowl full of shit, too. Oh, this is so gross. I mean, I'll tell you this. 39.5, I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under, and I'm not thinking twice. This game will be ugly. Now, that said, what can the Saints do? What can the Falcons do? No one's really going to be doing much of anything. So I'm just going to do the cheap thing. Hello, Justin, your rule of 4. I haven't really been following it at all. So this is my freebie rule of 4 to you, Justin. I'm going to take Atlanta to win this game. Not by choice, and not because I think they're the better team or anything, but because I think it's going to be a shit show, and I think New Orleans is just not that good anyway. So yeah, give me the Falcons. I'll take their plus 1.5 points as dogs, because looking at the rest of my shit, that's probably the only other team I'm taking against, only betting underdog I'm taking. Spoiler. But yeah, in a battle of two craps, I'm just going to take the points and I'm going to run with it. Again, I mean, that under looks really great for the parlay, but I'm not touching this game spread or straight up. But yeah, we're going to go with it. Falcons to win. Falcons give a plus 1.5 and under 39.5. I'm going to say Cousins tries a little bit. I think Kyle Pitts maybe gets a touchdown too to feel good. Give me... let's go 15 to 10. 15 to 10. Sure, why not? Yeah. Next thing we have the Eagles in Dallas taking on the Cowboys. Eagles as a road team are 3.5 point favorites. And the total's at 47.5. Good job, Dallas. You beat the Raiders. You get a cookie. Philly, good job. You have a real defense. But your offense is inconsistent as hell. Dallas, when I want to believe in you to do things, you kind of shit the bed. Philly, you're probably due for one more loss, honestly, but to trust in Dallas to do it is just something I simply cannot do. So I'm going to give Philadelphia the win in this game. Spread is 3.5. I would almost be inclined to take Dallas here, because I think Dallas could make this game interesting. You know, it's NFC East football. These games tend to be interesting. But I just don't think I have in my heart to give Dallas any benefit of the doubt. Good job, you beat the Raiders. I'm not caring. So I'll give Philly the 3.5. It was a close game back in week 1, but if you know, it's week 1. You don't take those games seriously. I mean, we don't pretend they don't exist, but obviously don't take it. It's pretty much another preseason game. So yeah, Philly win. Philly covers 47.5. I'm gonna go on what I know, and that's Philly's defense has been really freaking great lately. So I'm gonna go on that they're gonna keep being relatively great. Under 47.5. Eagles win. Eagles cover. Give me the under. We're looking at a game I'm probably gonna assume gets Dallas' defense. So give me 23-16, because Brandon Aubrey is automatic. 23-16. Next game we have the Sunday night game where Tampa heads to LA to take on the Rams. Rams are 6.5 point favorites at home, and the total is a high 49.5. Now I did see the Rams shut down Seattle. And again, I don't have the context of the game, so I don't know what to say on Sam Darnold's 4 interceptions. Even then, they were a field goal away. I don't know how far the field goal was, but they had a field goal attempt to try to win the game, missed the field goal. So, LA, even with 4 picks, was this close to losing the game too. Let's see how they got to go to defense. Tampa, they've been injured. Bucky hasn't played in probably 2 months now. Mike Evans out for most of the season. Chris Godwin been dealing with injuries. In LA, especially with that with a win against Seattle, they might be the best team in football. I mean, it's them or New England for me right now. As legitimately the best team. Philly, I see you. Denver, I see you. Indy, I see you. I see you guys. See you. But if you want me to put my money on it, New England and LAR and the Rams. They're my votes right now. And so with that, I feel bad for Tampa. They're on this losing streak, which, I mean, it's not necessarily in fault to anything their own. Baker's trying. That offense is trying. It's just, it is what it is. And like I said, I think the Rams are one of the best, if not the best team in football. So I'm going to ride the wave they ride. Give me the Rams to win this game on Sunday night. The line right now is at a crisp 6.5. I wanted to give Tampa a benefit of the doubt, but, you know, they couldn't backdoor cover against Buffalo. So I'm pretty much in the same boat right here. Give me the Rams minus 6.5. Total in the game is at 49.5. They're going to both put up points. The Rams have a defense, so I am keeping an eye on it. But I'm going to take the over because I know Tampa, one way or another, is going to find a way to score points. So that is that. Give me the Rams to win, cover 6.5, and give me over 49.5. Give me a 30-23 victory for the Rams. Maybe a tie game and they get a game-winning touchdown somewhere in the fourth, and Tampa just can't capitalize back. And then one more game we're going to look at. The Monday night game, an interesting game for Monday night, which I would have written off originally, but their record suggests I should take it seriously. Carolina is in San Francisco taking on the Niners. Niners 7-point favorites at home with a total at 48.5. San Fran's just fine. Brock is still fine. And when their receivers are healthy, everything is fine for San Francisco. They're as much as a contender as anyone else is in the NFC right now. Carolina, they're feisty. Whenever they play the Falcons, they look really great. But every time else, it's inconsistent. And I'm just not a believer in Carolina. I know we were talking about the AFC, but not NFC. I think the seven playoff teams are already set in my mind. It's Philly's going to take the East. Tampa's going to take the South. Green Bay and Detroit will fight for the North, and the NFC West is setting 3. So the two other teams that have maybe possible ideas, Chicago and Carolina, I'm going to be real, I just don't trust either of you. I just don't. I think Chicago, due to schedule, will be floating around in the mix, but I think ultimately they're not going to have enough. Carolina, even if you want to believe them, you know what their schedule is? They still have the Niners, the Seahawks, and the Rams on their schedule. And then 2 games against Tampa. That's 5 of their 6 games left on the schedule. The 3 NFC West teams that we all really like, and then 2 games against Tampa. So Carolina, due to virtue of schedule, I can't take you seriously, because you're going to need to win at least 3 of those. And I don't see a way where you win 3 of them. I just don't. Not because you're bad, it's because I think these teams are better. You might steal one from Tampa. I could buy you splitting with Tampa, because Tampa's been inconsistent as hell and injured as hell, so I could buy you splitting that. But I can't buy you beating San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Seattle. And so that's not going to... I already tell you guys, I'm taking the Niners to win this game. I think they're the better team. 7, bit high. And I've taken a lot of high spreads in this stream this week. But I'm going to roll with it. I do think San Fran is better, and I think they're better by a few steps. If everyone's healthy, it's fine. And I say this, even with all of San Fran's defensive injuries, I don't trust this Carolina offense to be consistent. So yeah, San Fran to win, cover, and that's why I see this 48.5, and I'm like, I don't think Carolina's going to give me much. I don't. So I'm going to take the under. Not to mention, this is Christian McCaffrey's first game against Carolina since he got traded to San Francisco. This is the first time he's had to play Carolina. So I think the game plan is Christian McCaffrey, have at it. So a lot of running clock, a lot of run plays, blah, 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 short passes. This is his show. We're all going to live in it. I think he has a great game. The ball control, I don't see Carolina have enough time to do much. And I don't see San Fran needing to point to score 40 like they did against Arizona. So, yeah, give me the under. Give me San Fran to win, Niners to cover 7, and we're going to go under 40.5. Score prediction, don't write these down because I don't like it. Give me like a 27 to 13. I think that's a fair one. San Fran takes care of business. Carolina exists, but clearly are not on the same tier as the Niners, especially in Santa Clara. That is all for that. We'll do one last rundown of it. I have Buffalo going into Houston and winning, covering their 5.5 spread in a game that goes over 43.5. I have the Chiefs winning at home against the Colts, but they cover plus 3.5, and a game that goes under 49.5. I have New England winning and covering -7 in Cincinnati against the Bengals, and a game that stays under 15.5. I have Pittsburgh winning on the road as an underdog against the Bears, covering plus 2.5, and a game that stays under 44.5. I have the Ravens winning, dominating at home, covering their large 13.5 point spread against the Jets, in a game that stays under 44.5. I have Seattle going into Tennessee, winning, covering their large spread of 13.5, in a game that goes over 40.5 points. I have the Lions winning at home and covering -10.5 against the Giants, in a game that goes over 49.5. I have the Packers winning at home and covering -6.5 against the Vikings, in a game that stays under 41.5. I have the Raiders winning at home against the Cleveland, and I have the Browns cover plus 3.5 in a game that stays under 36.5. Snooze fest. I have the Jaguars going into Arizona, winning that game, covering 2.5 in a game that goes over 47.5 points. I have the Falcons pulling off the upset in New Orleans against the Saints, winning outright and covering plus 1.5 in a game that stays under 39.5 points. I have the Eagles winning and covering minus 3.5 points in Dallas against the Cowboys in a game that stays under 47.5. I have the Rams winning at home and covering minus 6.5 against the Buccaneers in a game that goes over 49.5 points. And then I have the Niners winning at home and covering minus 7 against the Carolina Panthers in a game that stays under 48.5 points. Those are my Week 12 picks, straight up against the spread and on the over-unders. Now to peep over into fantasy as we're winding down the regular season for that. I have officially been eliminated for playoff contention in the League of Assholes for what is now going to be the 6th straight year probably that I missed the playoffs. I think if there's one thing I'm learning, I gotta stop keeping second-year players. Because sophomore slumps are real, and I don't listen. And, yeah, I should probably draft better, but it is what it is. But as far as the other leagues, both in the Ante & Co. League and the Professional Dynasty, I'm currently sitting at 5-6. Both would have me 6th as a 6th seed right now, which is in the playoffs. The Ante & Co. League, unfortunately, I'm on a 3-game losing streak, so hopefully I can bounce back this week. And then in the Professional Dynasty League, I'm on a 2-game win streak. But now with no Jamar Chase because he got himself suspended, so I have very little hopes of doing much of anything in the pros this week, but hey, anything is possible for sure. And with that, that is going to be all from me for Week 12, written in this shiny blue this time. We'll see how many weeks I can go with that before I lose my pen. But for that, that's going to be all from me. I am the Blind Canadian Cat. Follow my Twitter, Canadian Cat CP, Instagram, Blind Canadian Cat, Twitch, Tumblr. I already forgot the other one. Yeah. I don't use these accounts, but they're there. They exist. Hell, I have a fucking TikTok, but last time I uploaded on that was probably back in 22, maybe. Who fucking knows at this point? And yeah, thank you all for the birthday wishes last week. I ended up not watching that game after the second half because, yeah, I guess I should have said that last week. There's no point saying this week when it's 10 days past. I'm kind of stupid, but you know what? Shut up. It's my stream, my video. It's almost 5 a.m. now. I'm having fun. You can't stop me. I'm all the way up. Yeah. I'm just gonna go now before I keep yapping about nonsense that no one cares about. Choose peace, accept love, and have big trust. Goodbye, everybody. And I'm gonna hold for a couple seconds because I'm learning that my thing stops before it's done. So, freeze frame to end it. I got a new video coming out in probably 12 hours as well, so stay tuned for that.